for us to go get a bolt, fix it. This has no brakes. Sam's was shooting flames. I don't know if this leaks. I don't know if that runs. I don't know if that transmission shifts.
Hey everyone, and welcome to Farm Fresh Fabrication. Good news, bad news. Start with bad news, because then we end on a happy note. Bad news, this video will not be about the Snova. Right now, what's number one priority is this car that you see behind me. I got a call from Tate Morgan of the Gambler 500. He was reached out to by the Hoonigans. We're going to Sema, baby. So this could be a once in a lifetime thing for me, so I was not about to say no. We're gonna lift this thing a little bit, make it so it can do some jumps, do some burnouts, and have some fun at the burn yard at Sema Fest. I am super stoked for that, so I'm sorry guys, but that's taking just a little bit priority over the Snova. Hopefully I'll be working on the Snova January, February-ish. Without further ado, let's take a look at this 1973 Plymouth Duster. All right, so here we are, hanging out with Jeremy of Shade Tree Vintage Auto.
And this is what we've come to pick up. It is a 1973 Plymouth Duster, and we are gonna get this be ready to make some smoke and hopefully put on a good show for the crowd. She's rough, which is exactly what I wanted, and they are hooking us up big time.
So Jeremy got it all loaded, and so you can see
this beauty, and they are totally accustomed to classic cars. This is definitely their world. So Jeremy, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you guys do here.
So I'm Jeremy. I've been doing this since I was like 14 years old, playing with Mopars, and we just decided to start gathering them up all over the country and bringing them here to northern Utah and getting them to those people that have been looking and trying to find their dream car or the parts that they need, and glad to help out on this and any other project.
So if you guys are needing any classic vintage parts, look these guys up, hit up Jeremy. It's Shade Tree Vintage Auto, and their yard is D&D Auto Salvage. They've got lots of parts, so if you're looking for anything for any of your classic cars, hit Jeremy up and he can definitely take care of you. Trying to get bad tires to hold air so it'll roll a little easier. You can change the setting on it so it's lighter. Well, we've only got one out of 4 tires that's holding air. Like normal, we're gonna get creative and see what we can do. I moved it like 2 inches. So you stay on the ground, push against that. 1, 2, 3, go. 1, 2, 3. What?
You do see it moving, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Want me to push?
Yeah. There it is. good. 2, 3. Perfect. And it's in park. So I should be able to just drive out from under.
Alright.
You gotta be gentle with them. Okay, we're off to the ground.
Ah, nuts. We went over the top. See if I can stand on it to get to.
We're in the grill because that was the one thing that he was like, the grill's okay. Don't take that.
Oh, you're just pushing it a little bit.
Okay, so me personally, I was never a big fan of dusters, but really not a big fan of this. Slant 6s are just super reliable, no power, having things. I'd rather have a little unreliability and a little more go juice. So ripping this out, ripping the trans out, radiator, way too small for the motor I'm gonna put in it, so we gotta upgrade that. And yeah, get to moving. Check out what came today. Freaking next day air, so that I could get this thing hopefully put together tonight, at least on the rear end. Boom. All this is from Rough Stuff Industries. They got me all hooked up. These are the high perches, big old beefy U-bolts. So this will definitely hold up to being jumped and thrashed around. We're gonna get that all fixed tonight so that the rear end is in place so that we can then fully focus on the front with getting the motor and all that done. Hopefully I'll get to that tonight, at least for the fitment part. Bolts and a bunch of other stuff, wiring and all that, so you can see zero wiring. So I will get this all together tonight and start working on it in the morning. Okay, we got the leaf spring mounts welded in there. Is somebody out there a better welder than me? Yeah, but it's not bad. It'll hold. So the axle is going to be tilted upwards at about a 7-degree angle. Is that right? I have no idea because I have not set the motor. I've got to cut out the motor mounts that are on the K-member because the slant 6 is different than anything else. So we got to cut those out, basically make my own. Really, it kind of depends on how the motor is going to sit in there, but I figure for what we're doing, I should be really close with that. If you're anything like me, your mom has to pay for you to get friends. You're used to doing stuff by yourself. So to take a hood off that's heavy, if you take one side completely off and then the front bolt off and leave the very last bolt, then when you take this off, it doesn't slam, break your windshield. You're not doing the awkward hood tilt thing. And so you can just take this off, set her down on your battery tray or your fender, and then move around to the front and pull it off. So. Just like that. Off it goes. If you do this a lot, you're used to lifting heavy stuff, and it's not so bad. me. Look at me. All right, so we got to cut off the brackets for the slant 6 in here. I'm going to be using this plas cutter that I just barely picked up. I got it off of carparts.com. Check them out. They do not only parts, but they've also got tools and things like that. But let's get cracking. This is a huge time saver compared to the old death wheel and Sawzall. So here we go. All right, so mistakes were made, lessons were learned, and we're all but ready to put this motor in. So we got the new oil pan, well, new to this motor anyways, and we've got the oil pump, oil pickup tube, and all that set up on this. We also have a distributor that actually reaches the gear. So this is all set up, ready to go. We're gonna set this puppy in here and kind of figure out what I'm gonna do with the motor mounts, and also get this thing one step closer. I'm not sold on this water pump. Yes, it's coming out the right side that I need and everything, but it's a lot lower flow of one. The outlet and everything's smaller and everything, so I was trying to get it to come out the right side as the radiator that I got, but I might change that up a bit. So anywho, we're gonna get this figured out, get it stabbed in there, and move one step closer. So
much easier with that fancy little beam up there.
So we're kind of,
Like a glove?
yeah, so I can actually build my mounts off that. The steering's not going to be in the way. That one's going to be good. Yeah. Yeah, not too bad. Wind. We can pull this side just a little bit farther my way on this side. Oh, actually, it's pretty centered right now.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Mint. Shazam. So, changed out the rear end is a Ford rear end, an 8 something or other. Obviously the drive shafts are not going to work. So I'm going to be cutting this one that is hooking up to the Dodge transmission. Hopefully the diameter of this pipe will allow the other one to slide in, and then I just got to weld it around. But I don't know till I cut this off, so we'll see. Not what I was expecting. Apparently there's rubber in there. Not what I was expecting. without ovaling the drive shaft, which ought to be super simple. Is that doing anything? Other than just making a mess? I don't think so. I got the inner liner. Basically, this is a tube within a tube with a bunch of rubber around it, and that's what seals it in place from going in and out. I cut the inner ring into 4 different pieces, and I'm either a genius or this is gonna not work at all. I welded a spike in there, and now I'm gonna attempt to hit it with a hammer. And if that piece comes out, I was a genius. If the piece does not come out, that was a stupid idea. So without further ado, I'm going to slide this like such so it makes it easier. And hopefully the spike doesn't just break off and go careening at the camera and then I have to buy a new camera. Because that would suck too. Well, it did move. So there's one right there. I got to do that. 3 more pieces in there. So it wasn't a bad idea. That was good. And we are on to the next step. So I've got all the rubber out. Got that sucker cut down to where it's supposed to be. Then this is from the rear end. Slides in there. There's a little bit of gap, so I got to center it as well as I can. Then I'm going to drill some holes in here to do some plug welds, just to hopefully sure up the fact that it's somewhat centered in there. And that will be the first ever driveline I've attempted to make, and hopefully it doesn't shudder like crazy, but if it does, I don't have any other option. So Nicole's over here. She's putting in new plugs, wires, throwing stuff in the intake. I lifted it up so that way the cross member is slightly lower than the oil pan, so that on the jumps it won't grind out my oil pan. And luckily everything still clearanced and was okay. We got Jeremy that got me the car. He hooked me up with headers, which I'm gonna have to cut to have coming up and out, because this side's fine, clears just fine, but this side has the steering box in here, which won't allow you to fit anything past it. So he got us those, which I'm gonna use. He got me the drive shaft, which is awesome. We got front wheels. We got a radiator. The inlet and outlet are in the right spots. And oh, these things, these big old things. He got me some slicks. They've seen better days, so I don't know how well those are going to work, but these wheels will push way out. I've got to see how good the motor runs first, because if it's not super powerful, I don't want to have big old meats that the motor can't even spin, because that will just be depressing. So I don't know if this leaks. I don't know if that runs. I don't know if that transmission shifts. I don't know if that rear end is good. I have no idea on this car about any of it, and so I really hope that I have plenty of time to get it all put together and get it test ran, because yeah, I have no idea if any of this is gonna all work together, and I hope it does.
I'm about to put this drive shaft in and do a bunch of measurements so that I can get more parts for tomorrow. Did 4 plug welds, welded all the way around, and then I did grind this down so that hopefully it wouldn't be like massively out of balance. Nicole got the plugs changed. Radiator is in, solid. Not only that, it's the right size ports. They match up. It's on the right side of the freaking car. So that's all good. All right, so there is the long tube headers with the flange cut off because that's the only part that I needed. And here it is. I cut down this pipe so that I had clearance to go around my brake booster. Hammered it roughly into the right shape and then tack welded the easy spots that were flat. And then I took a screwdriver and a hammer and I pounded it into the correct shape of this. Now I'm trying to duplicate this kind of flange so that the gasket has something to adhere to. So I've just got to tack all the way around there and make a raised face so that that gasket has something to seat against and make them all roughly the same height. So that is what I am doing right now. And then we got to duplicate, duplicate, duplicate 7 more times. So this wouldn't mount to my thing, so I had that adapter. That didn't help. So I had that carburetor. That didn't bolt up to that. So I had to run into town again today to get my adapter plate that will allow it, unless I'm not so smart, to bolt up. Thank God. Okay. To bolt that up to that. And then we can keep on working. I'm so tired and so tired of parts not lining up. So that was a win. Yay. My wife watched a 10-minute tutorial and went with that comic book style paint job kind of thing with markers. And she freaking killed it. Like, we've still got quite a ways to go to get it like done. But it is so freaking rad. Like, doesn't even look real. Like, that's so cool. We did a whole bunch of rewiring. To hopefully get better voltage, cleaner voltage through everything. So here goes something. Win!
The next day.
All right. So here goes this first test drive, and we're already in St. George. We're supposed to be at the track in like 3 hours, and this is the first time it's actually ran long enough for me to do that. So let's see if I can get it off the trailer without dying. Big time low on fluid, and I have to lower the front because did you see when I turned and it was like Danny forgot gas.
I did. What do you do?
Welcome to the warm-up section. Where they, you know, warm up.
Oh!
About ready to go. Woo! Yeah, we're gonna hopefully. Yeah, they're calling us up. Make a show. Ready? Ready?
We go stage up in the red gate. We gotta go build a course.
Okay. All right, we are out here about to get ready. Miss Cleo decided to lose all of her brakes, so I won't be racing her. Maxine's gonna step up like she always does, and we're gonna go tear shit up.
Hey Danny, what'd you do?
I broke it like a child again.
So Danny did a jump and that bolt sheared, and where this is twin I-beam, it went boop. But a screwdriver is a good temporary fix to get it back up. For us to go get a bolt, fix it. This has no brakes. Sam's was shooting flames. His is good. We can go check out more Carnage. We are of another show tomorrow, and half the cars are broke, so we gotta do some thrashing to get everything fixed.
Yeah, this one's pretty messed up.
Look at that though. Look at all the fun he had.
We are getting ready to race, and like any average race car,
I still got a whole trunk full of stuff that I'll be whipping around while I'm out there.
so it's pretty good.
done, we're gonna load up and head back to real life. Thanks for joining along. If you like what you see, like, comment, subscribe, the usual drill. And if I'm really lucky, I'll get invited to do more stuff like this. So thanks again to Hoonigan, Tate Morgan and the Gambler 500, and Hoopty Cross with Chuck. Thanks to all of my buddies that came out and helped me along with this. And you'll see more from me.